INHS On Air. INHS Senior High School Champ Campus Radio. 97 MHz FM.
Social science makes sense of the institutions that shape our lives. It helps people understand and engage with the key political and social institutions, thus benefiting individuals and society as a whole. Social science is now ready to trumpet its learning episode.
Oh yes!
This is Social Science.
Good day, grade 11 learners. Welcome to another enjoyable learning episode of School on the Air in Introduction to Philosophy of a Human Person. We are happy to share another learning session with you only here on 97 MHz INHS Senior High School Champ Campus Radio, the INHS Senior High School official network for academic instructions via radio. We are your teacher broadcaster for today, Teacher Pearl and I will be bringing you new learning and fun.
How are you feeling today, grade 11? Kindly send an emoji to our group chat or in our comment section that represents your feelings today. Ano kaya yung mga feelings ng mga student natin ngayon, ma'am?
Let's wait for their reaction.
So, ano kaya yung mga emojis na isasend nila? We'll wait for your reactions. Okay, so may mga smiley.
Many hearts and likes.
Yes. Okay, so, wow, it's good to know that you are feeling great. Alright, before we start our lesson, we have reviewed first year, last for the second semester, and find a place where you are most comfortable as you listen to the radio or watch our FB live stream. Okay, so welcome to a new journey of inquiry in Introduction to the Philosophy of the Human Person. While you are preparing for your things, let us have a short break.
De Luna,
Present!
Herrera,
Present!
Valera,
Present!
Handa ba tayo sa school year 2020?
Present!
Ngayong taon, ang edukasyon tuloy pa rin. Sa tulong ng DepEd, mga guro at mga magulang, ang handang isip, handa bukas. Tuloy-tuloy ang pag-aaral. May mga modules para sa iba't ibang antas. Sa government TV, maging sa radyo. Mahalagang ligtas ang ating mga estudyante at guro. Kaya kahit nasa bahay, tuloy ang edukasyon. Kung tulong-tulong, may paraan, may aralan.
Handang isip, handa bukas!
Bisitahin ang DepEd Philippines sa Facebook at ang deped.gov.ph.
Okay, since there are hearts emojis, so this is the signal that we begin our lesson. So this is our second learning episode for the third quarter. So at the end of our lesson, you are expected to distinguish opinion from the truth, realize that the methods of philosophy lead to wisdom and truth, and evaluate truth from opinion in different situations using methods of philosophizing. I want you to answer these questions before we proceed to our lesson. Have you ever experienced believing in something you thought is true, but in the end, you discovered that is false? Key in your answer in the comments section. I repeat, have you ever experienced believing in something that you thought is true, but at the end, you discovered that it is false? Please key your answer in the comments section. Okay, so may sumagot na po na yes. Okay, galing kay Karen. And the same with Lauren Lee. And of course, kay Sherilyn from Courtesy. And Hermeline also say yes. And of course, kay Ella from Empathy. Thank you so much mga anak for your responses. Wow, you have all amazing answers. You have two different experiences on that. I know many of you experience having a person standing in front of you who think is a true friend, who will never betray you. But in the end, he did betray you. Sakit nun, ma'am, di ba? Another one is during the examination period. You feel strongly that A is the right answer for a certain number, but it turned out to be B. This and countless examples from your experiences show that there is a big difference between what we feel is true and what is true. According to philosophy, if you want to know the truth, you have to use not emotions but thinking. To think, however, is an act of choice that is not always done properly. Sometimes we need guidance to strengthen our thoughts. And right now, we are living in a very challenging time that some people call the new normal. The things that we usually take for granted are hard to come by. The economy is bleeding to death with thousands losing their jobs and businesses closing. We must also not forget the thousands of people who were infected and lost their lives. All of this happened because we have one enemy which we can't see but is deadly, the COVID-19 virus. Scientists develop vaccines where the human civilization depended. We rely on one thing which can defeat the virus: the knowledge of every scientist. Without the knowledge, the vaccine needed to end this pandemic is impossible. Our reliance, however, on knowledge is not new. Without the knowledge, we would still be in a prehistoric cave. Knowledge enabled mankind to survive and reach the present level of our civilization. In the recognition of the supreme importance of knowledge, that gives rise to the branch of philosophy known as epistemology. Let us explore more on the meaning, foundation, and importance of epistemology after this short break.
Mars, lumalaban na naman ang mga kaso ng COVID dito sa atin. Ano ang dapat gawin?
Oo nga, pero huwag kayo magpanik. Ito ang mga dapat gawin para makaiwas sa COVID. Paghuhugas ng kamay ay ugaliin. Ugaliin. Paglayo sa matatao ay gawin.
Tama?
Pagsuot ng face mask ay araw-arawin.
Correct ka dyan.
Masusustansyang pagkain sulitin. Alkohol lagi nating dalhin. Saan man magpunta ay bitbitin. Pagbabakuna ay huwag lilimutin.
Babakuna ka na, girl.
Para makaiwas sa COVID-19. Laging tandaan, pahalagahan ang buhay ng bawat isa. Sundin ang mga health protocols at magpabakuna na habang maaga.
Isang paalala mula sa Department of Health at ng impilang ito.
And we are back. Let us now define epistemology. According to Ayn Rand, a philosopher, epistemology is a science devoted to the discovery of the proper method of acquiring and validating knowledge. There are two parts of epistemology. What do you think is the first part, class? Key in your answer in the comment section. Again, what do you think is the first part of epistemology? Please key in your answer. Again, for UMS 11, what is the first part of epistemology? For all the grade 11, we're waiting for your answers. What do you think is the first part of epistemology? Okay, the first part of epistemology is the process of acquiring knowledge. And this is divided into 5 types. The first one is reality. To know is to know something. This something is what philosophers call reality, existence, and being. And when we say existence, it is everything there is. Everything we perceive, like animals, plants, human beings, inanimate objects, and everything inside our heads, our thoughts, and emotions. And the second type is perception. Our first and only contact with reality is through our senses. Knowledge begins with perceptual knowledge. And the third one is the concept. After we perceive things, we began to notice that some of the things we perceive are similar to other things. Let's have the fourth type, which is the proposition. When we use concepts to classify or describe an existent, we use what philosophers call a proposition. It is a statement that expresses either an assertion or a denial. And for the last type, we have the inference. Try to answer this question, class. How do we demonstrate that the statement is true? Key in your answer in the comment section. Again, how do we demonstrate that the statement is true? Paano nga ba natin nasasabi na tama ang isang bagay?
So we will wait for your answers, grade 11.
Inuulit ko. Paano nga ba natin nalalaman na tama ang isang bagay? How do we demonstrate that the statement is true? Very good, Raven Clyde Calzeto Mazo, by providing an argument. Very good. We demonstrate that the statement is true by providing an argument. For example, all men are mortals. Socrates is a man. Therefore, Socrates is mortal. Let's have these three related statements or propositions. The last statement beginning with the word therefore is what we call a conclusion. A conclusion is a statement that we want to prove. The first two statements are what we call premises. It provides justification, evidence, and proof to the conclusion. We only provided a brief overview of the topic. Let us now proceed to the second part of epistemology, which is validating one's knowledge. This time, we see whether the knowledge we acquired is really true knowledge. Let's discuss its steps. The first step is validating one's knowledge is to ask oneself the following question. How did I arrive at this belief? By what steps? One will therefore realize that the steps you took to acquire knowledge, which is the perception, concept, proposition, and inference, are the same steps needed to validate knowledge, which is in reverse order. If we perform the process of reduction, we will realize that all true knowledge rests ultimately on sense perception. A belief, according to Abelja, is true if it can be justified or proven through the use of one's senses. Let us consider his statements. I am alive, I have a body, and I can breathe. We can only validate the above statements if you observe yourself using your senses. Let's try to use it, my dear learners. Feel your body. Are you breathing? Feel your pulse. Observe your body. Is it moving? These and countless examples provided by your senses prove that you are alive. But not all statements, however, can be validated directly by the senses. Some beliefs or ideas need the process of validation called proof. Nevertheless, proof rests ultimately on sense perception. Statements based on sense perception are factual, and if we are based on the beliefs on such facts, our beliefs are true. To determine whether a statement is true is to test it using verification. For example, if you want to know if a person is friendly, the best way to find out is to approach a person.
That's right, Ma'am Ans. Identifying truth, however, can sometimes be tricky. Truth, if knowledge validated, and when we say validated, we mean they are based on the facts of reality. You must understand, dear students, that the facts of reality are independent of your thoughts, feeling, and preferences. That is the characteristic of truth. For example, Jose Rizal died in 1896. Comment below your answers if the statement is truth or opinion. What do you think, grade 11? Again, Jose Rizal died in 1896. What do you think? Is it opinion or truth? Please key your answer in the comments section. Okay, so according to John Cedric Kudal, a statement is true. Okay, thank you. And of course, from Divine, she said truth. Same with Dennis. And of course, Numardik, true. And of course, Hermeline, she said truth. Okay, you may not like the statement or deny it. That does not change the fact that the statement is true because it is based on what happened in the past. So, tama yung mga sagot ninyo, mga anak. Many sources can validate the truth of that statement. However, when we say that Jose Rizal is the greatest man who ever lived, is it truth or opinion? What do you think? I repeat, Jose Rizal is the greatest man who ever lived. Is it the statement as truth or opinion? Okay, if you answer is an opinion, you are correct, just like Ira. Okay, so very good, Ira. The same with Ace and Roman Dick. Okay, thank you so much for responding. So, you are stating your preference and not facts. This is an opinion. Now, it is true that there are many facts about Rizal, but the statement is asserting something that is beyond what the facts state. The statement represents not facts, but your interpretation of facts, which may reveal your biases. To summarize, an opinion is based on emotions, open to interpretation, cannot be confirmed and is inherently biased, while the truth is based on the facts of reality, can be confirmed with other sources, and is independent of one's interpretation, preferences, and biases. In knowing the truth or falsity of a statement, we generally use the following theories of truth. Before we discuss these theories, let's have first a short break.
Mars, lumalaban na naman ang mga kaso ng COVID dito sa atin. Ano ang dapat gawin?
Oo nga, pero huwag kayong magpanik. Ito ang mga dapat gawin para makaiwas sa COVID. Paghuhugas ng kamay ay ugaliin. Ugaliin. Paglayo sa matatao ay gawin.
Tama.
Pagsuot ng face mask ay araw-arawin.
Correct ka dyan.
Masusustansyang pagkain sulitin. Alkohol lagi nating dalhin. Saan man magpunta ay bitbitin. Pagbabakuna ay huwag lilimutin.
Babakuna ka na, girl.
Para makaiwas sa COVID-19. Laging tandaan, pahalagahan ang buhay ng bawat isa. Sundin ang mga health protocols at magpabakuna na habang maaga.
Isang paalala mula sa Department of Health at ng impilang ito.
And we are back. Let us discuss the first theory of truth, which is the correspondence theory of truth. The basic idea of this is that we believe or say is true if it corresponds to the way things are based on the facts. It argues that an idea that corresponds with reality is true, while an idea that does not correspond to reality is false. For example, if I say the clouds are white, then I look outside and saw that it is indeed white. On the other hand, if I say pigs have wings, and then I check a pig and it does not have wings, then my statement is false. In general, statements of beliefs, propositions, and ideas are capable of being true or false. Second, the coherence theory of truth. This theory assumes that a belief is true when we can confirm it with reality. In other words, by simply checking the statement or belief agrees with the way things are. And then, we can know the truth. The coherence theory is similar to the correspondence theory, since both statements are based on their agreement with reality, this is the pragmatist theory of truth. This theory states that a belief or statement is true if it has a useful application in the world. If it does not, then it is not true. For example, some people think that there are vampires or other mythical creatures because they find it useful in explaining unusual phenomena and in dealing with fears. So if we are going to use the word truth, we define it as that which is the most useful to us.
However, a useful belief is not necessarily true, and in normal conversations, people do not typically use the word true to mean useful. In sum, we can know if a statement or beliefs are true if we look at each statement or belief and determine if they correspond to facts. There you have it, our dear learners. We hope you have jotted down important notes about our lesson. Kindly send a star emoji in our group chat if you understood our lesson. Again, kindly send a star emoji in our group chat if you understood our lesson. Si Harmony, meron naman star emoji. Same with Rosel, Altea, Bea,
Maglelong,
yes,
Jenica Domingo, Eunice Velasco Castillo, Mark Angangan, Ira Manikad.
Okay, so it means they understood our lesson, ma'am.
Amazing!
Okay, so wow, it seems like you understood really, mga anak, yung lesson natin. Okay, thank you so much for being so attentive and participative. Let us now have a 5-item assessment activity. All you have to do is listen carefully, then key in your answer on our group chat or on comment section. Are you ready, grade 11 learners? Just send a smiley emoji. Emoji, smiley naman ngayon to signify that you are ready. So, we are waiting for the smiley emoji. That signifies that you are ready. Ayan, meron pang mga star humahabol. Si Eunice, ayan, may smiley na. The same with Chris, Vincent,
Raven,
yes.
Jamaica, Nikki, Anika Retutas.
Yes, so it means they are ready, ma'am, right?
Yeah.
So, for this activity, you will comment F if the statement is fact and O if the statement is opinion. So, let's start with number 1. Dry cough may be one of the symptoms of COVID-19. What do you think? Is it fact or opinion? I repeat, dry cough may be one of the symptoms of COVID-19. Is it F or O? Okay. Nagsisignify pa lang na ready pa lang sila, so wala pang sumasagot sa katanungan natin, ma'am. Ulitin ko po. Ayan, meron na si Alvin. Ang bilis na Alvin na. Okay, so, ang sagot ni Alvin is O. And then, kay Limelson is F. AJ, F. Diana, F. Okay. Kay Gian, O. So, the correct answer is
Fact.
fact. Yes, that's right, ma'am. Fact. Kasi, siyempre, diba, dry cough is one of the symptoms of COVID-19. Okay, number 2. Staying in extremely hot places can protect you from COVID-19. Okay, I repeat. Staying in extremely hot places can protect you from COVID-19. Is it fact or opinion?
Someone answered opinion na, ma'am.
Wow.
Divine de los Reyes.
Si Eunice, si Raven, who else? Si Raven.
Ira Manikad.
Okay, kay Bea din. Opinion din siya. So,
All of their answers are opinion.
and you are correct. So, very good mga anak. It's letter O or opinion. For number 3, sweeping at night, according to some Filipinos' beliefs, drives the riches away. Again, sweeping at night, according to some Filipino beliefs, drives the riches away. What do you think? Is it fact or opinion?
Okay, may nag-answer na, ma'am. Anel de la Cruz. Opinion. Again, Ira Manikad, Ferdelin, Nikki. All of their answers are opinion, ma'am.
Okay, that's right. Very good. Okay. That is correct. So the answer is O. Okay, or opinion.
Amazing!
Okay, let's proceed to number 4. All students have the same IQ. Again, all students have the same IQ. Is it fact or opinion? Okay, so may sumagot na
Meron na, ma'am.
si Eunice. So, She answered O. The same with Anika, Remelin, Bea also. Likewise,
Marvy,
Yes.
Nikki, Aladdin,
so they answered
opinion.
opinion. And the correct answer is opinion. Okay, so you are all correct. And number 5, the last number.
Amazing!
Reading books of different disciples can make you successful. Again, reading books of different disciples can make you successful.
Someone answered opinion already.
Okay, so from Sandy, opinion. The same with Mark. Mark John Dave. Bea, mabilis din sumagot tong si Bea.
Kanina pa nagsasagot, ma'am.
Yes, very active.
Amazing!
The same with Ashley, Beth Maglelo, Jan Vincent Elnagan. So, they answered O or opinion. And you are correct. So, congratulations mga anak. Kasi, ang mga sagot nyo ay correct.
Okay, dear learners, let me see your scores. Key in any emoji that represents your score. For example, if you got 5, you may said 5 hearts and so on. Ilan kaya ang mga nakuha ng ating dear learners, ma'am? Na perfect kaya nila ang 5?
I hope so,
Maybe
ma'am, kasi
four?
ang daming sumagot ng nakita natin kanina.
Yes.
Parang maraming naka-perfect.
Yes, mga anak, pag-send lamang kayo ng emoji kung ilan nga ba inyong nakuha. Okay, Nats, Balisi Pawig, 5 hearts. And also Eunice, Castillo, and Bea Maglelong again. Kanina pang nakikinig. And of course, Jenica and Nikki Ballesteros, Bea Cagayan, Beth Bakhay. Thank you for responding, dear learners. Mark Angangan,
Si
Archie.
Archie, ang dami.
Too much heart. It's
Yes.
8 hearts. And
Then,
Jonabel Gallo. Okay, thank you for responding. It's good to know that you understood the lesson. With that, congratulations everyone. Hats off for your accomplishment today. And that concludes our learning episode. For your assignment, please make a 1-paragraph essay about the new normal in education. Again, please make a 1-paragraph essay about the new normal in education. Be sure to present your opinion with facts. Stay tuned for the next learning episode only here on 97 MHz INHS Senior High School Champ Campus Radio, the INHS official network for academic instructions via radio. Again, this is your teacher broadcaster, Teacher Ange, and
Teacher Pearl.
saying, think big, trust yourself, and make it happen. God bless you all and stay safe.
Hello, INHS! This subject enriches our soul and will make us a cultured and critical individual.
That's right.
Gives us chance to explore, appreciate, and produce different forms of contemporary arts, and strengthens our knowledge, capabilities, and self-awareness to reach our personal goals. This is Humanities Subject.
High School on Contemporary Philippine Arts from the region. I'm happy to share a learning experience with you only here on 97 MHz FM INHS Senior High School Champ Campus Radio. We're also live via INHS Senior High School Champ Campus Radio Facebook page. We are your teacher broadcaster, Teacher Rovelyn,
Teacher Glenda.
We would like to share again with you the saying by Machonan Liwayo,
A lifelong learner is a lifelong winner. How are you, dear grade 12 learners? We hope you're all excited as we are about to start a new lesson. Before that, kindly send an emoji that represents your readiness in our FB live chat box. Also send your name and section for your attendance today. With that, I'm anticipating that you're all physically and mentally prepared. Recognizing all students who are tuned in right now from ABM 12 Smith, Cacho Aname, Casey Ann Alawigan, Jaima Miramon Lopez, Maika Janine Sambo, and Christine Joy Gopeto. Welcome to the wonderful world of contemporary arts from the region. I hope you have your module with you right now, and before we start, let's have a short break.
Heto na ang campus radio station na kampiyon sa puso ng bawat Ilagenyo.
INHS On Air, INHS Senior High School Champ Campus Radio, 97 MHz FM.
Kampiyon sa pag-aaral.
Your homeschooling buddy.
Welcome to our English class.
Kampiyon sa tugtugan at kantahan.
Gusto kitang isayaw ng mapaka. 'Cause I'm in the stars tonight, so watch me bring the fire, set the night light.
Kampiyon sa inspirasyon at pagsasamahan.
I love senior high school.
INHS On Air Senior High School Champ Campus Radio. Sa INHS SHS Champ Campus Station, you are the champion. Champ Campus Radio.
Dito, mapapawaw ka.
Champ Campus Radio.
Tiyak panalo ka.
Oh yeah!
INHS On Air Senior High School Champ Campus Radio.
And we're back. Time check. It's already 3:05 in the afternoon. Our learning objectives for today is at the end of the learning episode, you should be able to describe various contemporary art forms and their practices from the various regions. For our today's learning topic, we will define arts and contemporary arts, comparison between contemporary arts and traditional arts,
And lastly, an overview about various contemporary art forms in different regions. To start with our lesson, let us have a short understanding about contemporary Philippine arts from the regions. Contemporary Philippine arts from the region is all about arts produced by Filipino artists in the present period. By knowing this, you will be enlightened about the different cultures and traditions throughout the Philippines. Moving on, when you were in elementary or even when you are in junior high school,
give your own definition about arts?
Okay, according to Rina Garcia, art is a piece created to express or interpret someone's ideas and emotions. Very good.
And according to Kervin Batung, arts are a form of expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, usually in visual form.
And according to Richelle Gutierrez, art's expression of skills and imagination.
Okay, wow, that's great to know. Art is the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, producing works to be appreciated primarily for the beauty or emotional power. Art is influential class, but it is not considered influential if we remain it in our imagination. All of us have creative imagination. We can say that our imagination is already a part of art if we produce it as a product or as a performance. So basically, as long as you are just thinking of it, that is not considered as an art. It will become an art if you are going to make it as a product or a performance. For what? To express yourself, to influence other people, and many reasons why we produce our creative imagination. So a while ago, I said that we have to convert our creative imagination into a product or into a performance. Why? Because art is a form of creative activity. And what are these activities? Will you give some example of creative activity? I will give mine. Example, painting. It's now your turn, our dear students. Please comment your answers on FB Live comment box. Okay, according to Christine Ilayat, sculpture. And according to Lorniel, singing or producing music. According to Meryl Febrero, digital photography.
According to J.M. Manzana, it's music. And according to Cheryl Natividad, she said, type here, dancing.
And according to Lori, we have dance. According to Janice Baltazar, films. Adrian Kilang, painting. Ryan Garcia, music, dance, literature. Okay, so all of your answers are correct. Music, literature, or a dance. Class, if we say arts, it is not just painting or drawing. The world of art is very extensive. Art refers not only to painting. We can say song is an art, especially when it comes from creative imagination. We can also say that art is literature. The way we write poems and stories, it is a product of creative activity. It is a product of art or even the movements that we have. Our body movements, once we produce it or once we convert it into a dance presentation, then it is a product of art. So starting today, class, don't think that this subject is just about drawing, that this subject is just about painting. No, we are going to learn different fields, different forms of arts. So basically, that's the definition of arts. We'll continue this after a short break.
Jose, bakit di ka pa nakikinig? Oras na ng klase ninyo sa radyo ah.
Hindi naman po ako nakikita ni teacher eh.
Huwag magpabaya sa pag-aaral. Ang pagsisikap ay daan sa pag-unlad.
Isang paalala mula sa DepEd Region 2 at ng himpilang ito.
And we're back. Moving on, let's discuss now the arts in history. We have prehistoric, civilizations, continental, medieval, Renaissance, Baroque, neoclassic, romantic, and modern. I know these words are already familiar to you because these are the arts that you have already learned when you were in junior high school. Prehistoric civilization, that is the art used and first made by the first Filipino people. When you were in grade 8, you learned Asian art, and that is an example of continental arts. When you were in grade 9, you encountered the terms medieval, Renaissance, and Baroque art. And of course, when you were grade 10, you learned so much about neoclassic, romantic, and the last is modern art. That is why we think modern art is the art that we have right now. Later on, we will tackle what is the difference between modern art and the arts that we have right now. This time, we are going to discuss the arts through the ages. We will see how the field of art developed and in what aspect it was developed. Example, from Greek period, they developed in the aspect of art, which is the method or the technique in the work of art. During Roman period, they developed skills. Came to Christian period, what we have developed in this field is the craftsmanship. Renaissance period, it was evident that the aspect of being a genius and mostly the focus was the design. The one that really developed in the Renaissance period, during the advent of modern art, that's where the fine arts came in. The technicalities, meticulous and detailed. And in Romantic period, it is all about self-expression. Now that we are in the present, it enters the contemporary era. The present era that gives us new forms or a new phase of art. From what we had discussed a while ago, how do you define contemporary arts? Please type your answer in the chat box.
Okay, again, the question is, how do you define contemporary arts?
Please type your answer in the chat box.
Grade 12 students, how do you define contemporary arts?
Okay, according to J.P. de Manzana, contemporary arts is the art made today by living artists. Very good, J.P.
And according to Mary Febrero, contemporary arts is the term used for art of the present day.
And according to Micah Janine Sambu, contemporary art is the term used for art of the present day.
Exactly. And according to Peter, contemporary arts is an art made in the present days.
Very good, dear students. All your answers are correct.
Amazing!
Contemporary arts is the art that brings out the present-day events and passions of the society. That is why modern art are often replaced by contemporary arts. Most people think that the arts made today are called modern. But again, class, when we say modern art, these are the artworks that were produced from 1960s or 1970s. But after that, the next stage is called contemporary arts. Contemporary arts is considered as the newest form of art. I'm using people from the late 1960s or early around 1970s up to this very minute. because basically, just like what I have said, it was the passion of the society. If in modern arts, more on self-expression, more on strategies and designs. Here in the contemporary arts, we will know the purpose as we go on with our discussion after a short break.
De Luna,
Present!
Herrera,
Present!
Valera,
Present!
Handa ba tayo sa school year 2020?
Present!
Ngayong taon, ang
Moving on, we already know the definition of contemporary arts and when it was started. It was started from the late 1960s or early around 1970s up to the present. Let's have the characteristics of contemporary arts. What are the reasons why we can say that contemporary arts are special and why it is unique? I'd like you to know that this art functions in a global society that is culturally diverse and technology-oriented, meaning contemporary arts is not about craftsmanship. It is not about techniques, nor it is about technicalities. Like in the modern period wherein fine arts were developed, it is also not about the genius and the design aspect that exists in the Renaissance period, and it's not like the Romantic period that is all about self-expression. But again, when we say contemporary arts, it is technologically oriented and it's culturally based, diverse, meaning at the present time, it covers the society we live in. Also, contemporary arts have become a collaborative process, and the audience plays an active role in reacting and constructing meaning about the work of art. What does it mean? It is not like the earlier types of art where the message only revolves around the artist. But when we say collaborative process, you as the audience of that particular masterpiece have an important role in understanding the message of it.
This time, I'll be asking you, why do we need to study contemporary arts? Please comment your answer. Again, why do we need to study contemporary arts? Comment your answer. Why do we need to study contemporary arts?
They are searching.
Okay, according to Mark Lawrence Gamiao, it provides opportunities to reflect on society and the issues that are important to us and the world.
Amazing!
According to Kerwin Batong, contemporary art is important to be studied due to its historical value, being a product and witness of a specific time and era.
And according to Lornier Andrada, we need to study contemporary arts because it helps us appreciate the different forms of self-expression and applications of creativity of the modern-day artist. According to Diana Rose Estrella, It provides opportunities to reflect on society and the issues that are important to us and the world. It is part of a cultural dialogue that concerns larger contextual frameworks such as identity, family, community, and nationality.
And according to Janice B. Baltasar, because it provides opportunities to reflect on society and the issues that are important to us and the world. You are all very good, dear students.
Okay, grade 1 students, contemporary art is essential to you not only because it belongs to your time, but it also serves as a form of expression of the people's present feelings and longings, especially the issues in the society that we are facing today. The current era is becoming a channel or an avenue for artists to give a message to people who see their masterpieces are their products. That is why, indeed, contemporary arts are very important. In addition, contemporary works of art are the means through which the artists of today communicate their sentiments. The clearer it becomes, the deeper our understanding of something because of the products of this art. So what I have said earlier, when we say contemporary arts, it is not about design. It is not about technique or skills used by the artist, but the message that he wants to convey to us to broaden our understanding, especially of the things that are happening in our society.
Amazing!
This time around, class, let's differentiate modern art and contemporary art. The difference between modern and contemporary arts is the message that is being conveyed to us. Again, modern art has something to do with the techniques and styles. It focuses on the strategies used by the artist, but when it comes to contemporary arts, regardless of the technique and design, what matters is what message relates to our society being addressed, which is our attention should be focused on. So after learning the definition of contemporary art, especially the difference with the modern art, let us localize our learning by discussing contemporary arts in the Philippines when we write back.
De Luna,
Present!
Herrera,
Present!
Valera,
Present!
Handa ba tayo sa school year 2020?
So we are back. I know that you are aware with the kind of arts we have in our country. It is very colorful, very rich, very vibrant, unique in the world. So before we are going to discuss contemporary arts in our country, let us go back to the part of our history why art is unique in the Philippines. How did the art we have today develop? In ethnic art, it refers to the arts of the ancient Filipinos. I would like you to know that this art is integral to our present situation because it reflects the importance of life. On the other hand, during Islamic art, so-called geometric design were introduced to our country from informal technique art, there were already patterns and shapes and art products. When it comes to the Spanish era, most of our arts reflects faith and catechism, since we all know the fact that we were colonized by the Spaniards for 330 years, and basically one of the main reasons why we were colonized was to spread Christianity, and of course when the American era came, Their role here in the country introduced the secular forms of arts, most probably from Spanish era to American era. Westernized the type of art, so when the conquest of the Japanese, we saw a big changes in type in this kind and class of art that we had. This was the phase our art which was orientated, meaning not westernized region in the world we belong to our country, as inclusion to that particular era, and of course right after we gained independence, right after we had achieved freedom from the colonizers, we entered the so-called modern era, which has something to do with our national identity, and at present, since we have freedom, we are free to show our expressions. This is now the contemporary era in the Philippines, social realism. Our arts show the true state of our country and real situation and basically free press in a particular issue. However, grade 12 students, even though we are now enjoying the contemporary era, especially in the field of arts, many Filipino artists were still showing their love for our country, especially in our origin, that even though we are in contemporary era, we still continue to make art products that we have grown up, and this is called traditional arts. Now, what is the difference between traditional and contemporary arts? These are the characteristics of traditional arts in the Philippines. When we say traditional arts, these are art representations and mostly they are culture-bounded. Aside from they are culture-bounded, it reflects the origin of our race of Filipino ancestors. They mostly focus on realistic figures. What we see around was produced because we know that in the time of our forefathers or our ancestors, camera is not popular yet. Their life is very simple, and of course, traditional arts are limited to the structures and standards set. Let's continue this after a short break.
De Luna,
Present!
Herrera,
Present!
Valera,
Present!
Handa ba tayo sa school year 2020?
Present!
Ngayong taon, ang edukasyon tuloy pa rin. Sa tulong ng DepEd, mga guro at mga magulang, ang handang isip, handa bukas. Tuloy-tuloy ang pag-aaral. May mga modules para sa iba't ibang antas. Sa government TV, maging sa radyo. Mahalagang ligtas ang ating mga estudyante at guro. Kaya kahit nasa bahay, tuloy ang edukasyon. Kung tulong-tulong, may paraan, may aralan.
Handang isip, handa bukas.
Bisitahin ang DepEd Philippines sa Facebook at ang deped.gov.ph.
We're back. Time check is already 3:35 in the afternoon. Let's continue our discussion. On the other hand, contemporary artwork revolve around the artist on his or her feelings. And of course, not just on his or her feelings, but to focus the message to his or her audience. And when we say contemporary arts here in the Philippines, it diverse when it comes to the materials, media, style, and it's not bounded by any rule or standard, and that is the challenge for us, especially to our artists, mostly here in the Philippines. So to give you an overview of the contemporary arts in the different regions in the Philippines, from the northern island in the country, which is Yami Island, to southernmost island in the country, which is the Sitangkay in Tawi-Tawi, also includes the eastern and westernmost part of the country, the Caraga, Davao Oriental, and Balawak, Palawan. Thank you for allowing me to welcome you in the contemporary arts in the different regions of the Philippines. That is why in this subject, You will expect that we're going to tour around the country to learn and explore the various art products of the current era, or what we call the contemporary era. From painting, architecture, art of fashion, as well as design, drama and dance, sculpture, and even literature. All of those will be discussed as we go on with our journey in this subject. Now, for your written task, write a 4-stanza poem with a title describing the major artworks in your municipality or barangay. You will be graded based from the given rubric. I'll be sending to our group chat the rubric for grading your output. I repeat, for your written task, write a 4-stanza poem with a title describing the major artworks in your municipality or barangay. You will be graded based from the given rubric. I'll be sending to our chat the rubrics for your output, grading your output.
Congratulations, grade 12, for your active participation for today. Don't forget to send your reflection for today on your teacher's account or on your group chat. Stay tuned for the next learning episode only here on 97 MHz FM INHS Senior High School Champ Campus Radio. Again, this is your teacher broadcaster, Teacher Rovelyn,
Teacher Glenda,
who always says, the artist is not a special kind of person. Rather, each person is a special kind of artist. Stay safe, everyone.
Hello, IN Nations! This subject enriches our soul and will make us a cultured and critical individual.
That's right.
Gives us chance to explore, appreciate, and produce different